Hey guys, we're here on the farm today at this test plot that me and Mark have been working on, where we're doing all kind of new stuff and videoing it and showing y'all kind of what's going on with it and how easy some of this stuff could be. This is that ground we talked about later on some other videos we cleaned up, and this new ground over here that we just put on the YouTube channel is right over here. So just to give you a point of reference of where we're at, we got alfalfa right here. Planted it, I think it was about October. You can see right here it's doing real good, but it's obviously a small plot that's hooked to some of these other bigger plots. So we're going to put an exclusion cage out and kind of show you what we're doing with that for those of you that don't use those. It's a pretty important tool, but the reason I'm doing it here is because this is kind of really small for the amount of deer I have in this area, and I really want to see what kind of growth I'm getting. I mean, they got it mowed down now to about 4 inches, and it's just a carpet, but I really want to see what kind of browsing I'm getting. So we got a piece of wire that I had just laying around the shop, so we're going to use that for this exclusion cage here. So it's a really important tool for a lot of people. This is really going to tell me what's going on in this food plot. I mean, I can see what the deer have nipped off, of course, but this will really tell me what's going on here by excluding them. You know, obviously they can't get to what's inside of this cage, so I'm excluding them from this area inside here, so I can come back and really get a judge of what's going on. This can be super important for guys that might not live on their track, or might be remote, or satellite landowners, whatever, or they're paying somebody to plant their plots. Really important. I mean, if a guy's planting beans or peas or even fall stuff and they've got way more deer than they realize, they can put this out and it tells the truth. You know, they might be from out of town and come to their farm and plant, just say soybeans or iron and clay peas or whatever, even fall stuff. They might come back and think that they didn't get a stand because of drought or whatever, and it might have in fact been overgrazing. They might look inside the cage and have plants this tall and everything else is bare dirt. So it really tells the truth and teaches you about your place and what's going on, and whether you need to increase plots or whether you have enough or whatever. Maybe you need to pump the fertilizer to it or anything like that. It's a very, very handy tool. I had some hay string here. We're gonna find what kind of wire we can, just kind of laying around and tie it up, and then not being super worried about it or super concerned about it being perfect, because the worst case, if the deer were to knock it down, we'll start over. I'm not putting a ton of time into it. I'm just gonna put a couple posts in here just to kind of hold this thing in place. Like I said, it's not a big giant deal if it gets moved. This is a plot that's just right behind my house, so I'm out here all the time. So now we'll be able to come back in a couple of weeks and really see what's going on here and monitor what kind of growth we're getting, so we can make decisions on maybe extending this plot even more, or extending different varieties of things we're planting. There's a lot more ground here I could clear up relatively easy. So that's what we got going on. Gotta check out our YouTube for more details.